Hello, fire signs, and welcome to The Mystery. I am Matt. I am a psychic. I am a medium. I'm an eclectic witch. My path extends in many different directions, and I am here to bring you your charm casting forecast for the week of June 12th through June 19th of 2022. Do remember that these are not timeless readings, so therefore, what you see is what you get. For the week of the 19th through the 22nd, it will be exactly attuned to that week. I like to read what is literally in front of me, aka the week ahead, and I also like to read what is literally in front of me on the table as well. So if you find this 3 or 4 months from now, then the one that is 3 or 4 months from now will be the applicable one, and this one won't necessarily be the one that will be as accurate for the current energies. Okay, do remember that if you would like to set up a private reading and get a little bit more detail, I do mediumship, I do cartomancy, I do charm casting, I do, you name it, I've probably checked it out or will eventually. And I can combine or do just a few or even just one of those different techniques within my private sessions. Check the links down below for all of where you can find me and where you can book me. And do remember to like, comment, and to subscribe. More engagement with these videos means that the algorithm picks it up and these messages get to more people that need to hear them. Okay, let's get us started and kicked off with our reading for our fire signs. Fire signs for the week of June 12th through June 19th, 2022. Oh goodness, we had one fly off. Let's see what it is. Okay, it was the fox. And I'll have to read this in context when I see a little bit more of the charms going on, but I'll set that aside for just for now. Because I feel like it will be more applicable once I start reading. All right. So for next week, for the week of June 12th through June 19th, our fire signs are going to have to definitely be focused on that death card, the death card energy in the tarot, at least the coffin card and the Lenormand. That's already happened. So you've got endings hinging into new beginnings, at which they're right next to each other. The death card moment has already happened. That ending has already happened, but literally the stork is right next to the coffin, but it's turned upside down. So you're like stuck in this limbo between um, an ending and a new beginning for next week. And right now, you're being pointed and directed directly to any of the confusing energies that you need to sift out on the in between. And in between that death card energy and the new beginnings. Right next to it is all of our inner child stuff. When in working out any of our blockages or any of our barriers that keep us down or hold us down in regards to where we are going. And right next to, let's see, when it comes to breaking up those energies and sort of sifting through all that confusion that lies between those two moments of that ending and the new beginning, we're having to step over all of our, I guess, book knowledge in a sense of the situation. So we're going to have to put down everything we know and sort of step over it in a way from coming from a perspective that's a little bit more intuitive than it is logical. And a lot of that will be getting out of that mental chatter that comes with all of that book knowledge. It's almost like I'm almost seeing like you mulling over 50 different ways in order to make the situation work. And therefore, because you've mulled over 50 different ways to make the situation work, you can't choose which of those ways to make the situation work because you have so many options. Like, going to an ice cream shop and being presented with 50 different flavors, which makes it a whole lot harder to choose your flavor than it does if you're presented with 3 different flavors. So, you're going to almost have to step over those obstacles and step over what you know in order to break up those energies. Right next to that comes with, this is actually quite interesting. This is why I love charm casting. It happened with my last air sign reading as well. The charms will sort of fall in a ways to where they land in each other, on each other, sit on top of each other, and bounce around kind of thing. Right now, the spirituality and enacting it through passions, enacting it through primal energies is going to be the grounding, and that's right next to the home. The grounding will be through the spiritual, and the primal energies will pull you back into your body, almost pull you back into that sense of home. And that's what will keep you grounded through these moments. Right next and right between that grounding and that sense of home is commitment to literally enacting your will in a very masculine way. And masculine, feminine, I consider feminine more the intuitive, feminine more the emotional, but masculine, these are all energies. They don't, definitely have to mean the physical gender. These are just feminine and masculine energies, the 2 different polarities. The masculine, like almost a commitment towards like standing your ground and stepping in your own 2 feet and essentially, saying, I'm not going to take this anymore. And right next to all of that as well, we have your intuition right next to all of your passions, bolstering your grounding, and more of that masculine energy into decision making. And I think that will benefit you in the best of ways in the next week. Enacting your will, enacting your boundaries, enacting your decision making through a more masculine energy, but while also using your intuition to support your passions and committing to standing your own ground. And that's all more on the side of, stepping over what you already know in order to break up the energies between your new beginnings and your endings. That's almost like it's almost like attached. It's almost like attached to the they're two different energy lines that are very much attached to each other, but you can live in one or you can live in the other, and blending them may be a little bit difficult in the next week, but you can sort of even keel balance them in being in one side for a little while, and then being in the other side for a little while, being in one side for a little while, and then flipping back over to the other side for a little while. I would just say it would be helpful to take a mental inventory onto how much you are in the feminine and how much you're in the masculine, and balancing those throughout this next week, because it may be a little bit, teeter-tottery if you don't. Right now, you're looking at all the seeds that you've planted, and you're having to cut out. I almost see there's oppressive energies here that sort of pervade the air. The ones that are more horizontally oppressive, they stretch out, and not really needing many difficulties in travel lately. You're sort of having to snip the cord that there is between the oppressive energies and travel. And especially when it comes to the seeds you've already planted, you don't want in a very physical sense, you could be traveling, definitely traveling, and not having, you don't want those trips to affect the seeds that you've planted previously. And they can also be the fact that you don't want the cord that you have between traveling into oppressive energies, more metaphorically, to wreak havoc on the seeds that you've already planted. And I think it may be a little bit of both as well. It just depends on your situation, but I think it may be a little bit of both for a lot of people. The need to see more abundance, actually, I see this clover right here for the next week, is more of the need to see more of your abundance and taking a ride past energies that are comfort, joy, and in your vitality. So if you find yourself in not so great moments, definitely I always say that your perception is as far as your reality will get. If you believe it, then it will be. So therefore, it may be more helpful to take yourself in that carriage and ride away from that oppressive energy. And after you've cut the cord towards traveling to the oppressive energy or any oppressive energy around traveling, and then you're taking yourself in your own little wagon, and through your place of needing and desiring abundance, you're riding right past those energies of vitality and those energies of comfort and joy, picking them up on the way, and then being able to more healthily see out situations socially, and sort of being able to, I think this has a lot to do with how you think you're perceived versus how you're actually perceived, and driving yourself into a place that's more healthy, and how you put yourself out there, so you're energetically coming off how you want to with other people. And this could also be literally a plane flying home anyway. So you're coming out of toxic travel situation that you've cut cords with next week, and through your desire and need for abundance, you're like, all right, I'm over this. I'm done with it. It was great while it lasted. I took what I needed. I left the rest, but now I'm picking up my vitality and my comfort and my joy on the way there, and I'm heading towards the plane home, in which involves the need for more vulnerability and intimacy with yourself, and sort of coming into that more, needing to come into that more feminine, intuitive energy, but in a healthy way, so you don't end up like this, which is that toxic, festering energy that you tried to leave behind. Because your loyalty, especially your loyalty to yourself, is a little bit farther away than I'd like for it to see. Than I'd like to, see it right now. But I think a lot of this cord cutting with toxic energies that are involving traveling, and it could also be somebody or something traveling to you as well. Your mileage may vary. It sort of tells a story of your cutting cords with toxic energy that's traveling, and then coming out of your abundance, going past your joy and vitality, and then catching better social situations, heading on home, and needing to get vulnerable with yourself so you could process what just happened and be loyal to yourself, because you're a little farther away from your loyalty than, like I said, that I like to see. I think this fox relates to what I'm about to say with the last little bits of energy lines. Our unlock moment will come next week. Will come from internalizing and through the spiritual, and our hopes and our dreams, and all those things that light us up, almost needing to shut in for a little bit. And this gives me a very indulgent vibes, like one of those things of, how long has it been since you sat down, say, with a glass of wine and some cheese, or like enjoyed your evening, put on and binged a show for a little while, and just been there for yourself, taking a hot bath kind of thing. It may be more necessary than you think right now, and that'll lead you right towards your passions and your intuition, and you'll be able to see past your emotions when you hit those unlock moments, through sort of shutting in a little bit with your own indulgence. Like, what lights you up? What have you known in the past to work to be your self care? And this fox, I think, comes more from, maybe it's one of two things. I think it's one of two things for people. It's a deceitful energy that's been around you that may be draining you in a way that you don't even realize, or, and I think it may be a little bit of both again, or needing to be cunning and deceptive with yourself so you can shake off those energies of something that's being deceptive towards you, and draining your energy in a way that you don't realize. So needing to switch your self talk in a way that fake it till you make it, so you can get into a better energy immediately without having to do much of the physical work for it. More of the astral and more of the etheric work. And that's the gist of this week. Again, if you would like to hear more from me, then you can like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, the engagement with the video will definitely kick up the algorithm so these messages can get out to other people who need to see them. And if you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can find me in my links down below, especially if you'd like to book a private session with me. in person or online, depending on if you're local. And I hope you have an awesome rest of your week.